Alrighty, it is Thursday morning. Hello. After our first class back last night, and it was great to see everyone. Even you, Oscar. I say that jokingly because Oscar wasn't on video, not a pun to Oscar. Um, so it was great to connect with everyone last night. It felt really good to me. I hope it gave you a sense of connection into this class and just into people. Maybe if you're not like me, I'm mostly isolated in my house, so it's nice to always nice to connect. So I want to tell you what I did when I woke up this morning is I went through and made some changes in our course schedule based on the discussions that we had last night. And this is going to be your week 12 Learn Together video. Okay, I'll post it out to the link to the Hangouts, but I just want to tell you in addition to there where you will find it. So what I did here, and we'll click in here. Sorry, my throat. I I'm fine. I just had a little coffee that got stuck. So what I did is I went back after our discussion. I looked at week 10, 11, and 12. Is I broke up the section on routing, and it should be right. So if you're doing section 11, you can, and all I did is broke it down into 10 lecture chunks. Okay, so that should be doable. Again, if you do this, you'll get full credit going back to week 10. So week 10, 11, and 12 then is that section 11 with routing. Okay, and then on the Learn Together, here's what I want you to do. Last night, and this video right here, right? So this was the one that I said we're going to do for the the weeks going, or next week, week 12. And we all know that Oscar's done. Good for you, sorry, Hugo's done. Good for you, man. Great job. Everyone else, and I know at least Oscar had a few things he was going to add, but here's what I want you to do. To get credit for week 11, Learn Together, I want you to go in and give like a simple paragraph just talking about what your plan is. That's kind of what I was trying to get out of you last night. And some of you had a plan and some of you were just thinking about it. So I want you to, in order to get credit for this week's Learn Together, right, is to go in here and reply just talking about what you want to do to the emoji search based on some of the things that you saw last night or based on some of the things that you learned in section 8 or 9 and 10 as well. Okay, and that's where you saw me saving to the cloud, because that's really what 9 and 10 were about, was both saving out to the cloud and using some of those life cycle hooks to then bring in information as well. So, some kind of response to the search, right? Something that both captures that idea of when a user clicks on an emoji doing something, that captures their either saving it, like you saw with Hugo's great example, or mine, or even Oscar's, is that same idea of what you would do. Like imagine how you would implement something that would make sense for the user based on, an emoji listing. So for week 11, just to come back to the clearness, hopefully, is that I want you to, if you didn't submit code, which I know almost half of you did, but I want you to then reply with what your plan is. Okay. And then next week, of course, week 12 is when we'll actually then do the final demonstration. So, like for me, I said the thing I'm going to do is now that I'm saving to the cloud, I'm going to give the user the ability to give that collection a name. And then when on page load, if there is a series of collections, I will give them a list to click on to review those collections. So that's what I'm going to do for next week. Okay, so that's what I want you to do for this, right? Again, this is, I'll actually probably add this video to the top of this. Actually, no, sorry, let me be clear. I'm going to add this to week 12, okay? Because I've added a Learn Together. So you're going to get credit for if you submitted code, but then you'll get credit for describing the plan that you're going to do for that week. Okay. And then week 12 was when we'll have our deliverables for that. So then we have spring break. Remember, as I talked about before, week 12 lecture will then be the last. I've broken section for the Udemy course, this section on routing, into 3 parts. So for next week, you'll want to have completed that. All right. And then after break, we'll do the Dev 1. And I did modify the date for Dev 1 to after spring break. And I do have a lecture here, right? I do have a lecture, which is the next section where you're basically just adding routing. Not basically, you're adding routing to the burger builder for that. Okay. The thing I would say to you, though, is that the more important thing, of course, is your dev. So lean heavily to get dev 1 done. And what I did here is I modified dev 1 to not have the validation, but to have some form of routing on there. Okay. So next week we can talk about, next Wednesday, we can talk about, this if you, and we will talk about this, but this will be, and it's time to start thinking about it, what you need to deliver on the week we're back from spring break. And I will think about how we'll do that. And maybe what I'll do is just set up a schedule, kind of like I've done for all my other code review days, where, right? So we can talk about it. You know what? Let's talk about that next Wednesday, how we want to do that. I'm open to, as we did on Dev 0, where we present to everyone to show them what we've done. And I think that actually might be a better way to do it. So anyway, I wanted you to know I've modified the schedule. I have extended section 3 through 3 weeks. I have added Learn Together for week 11, and then week 12 is a deliverable for your emoji. So I want you to get caught up where possible. All right. I want to say have a wonderful week. I know we all can in the midst of all of this. So, and then reach out if there's anything you'd like to chat about. Okay. Peace out.